Friend or foe? If friend, then join me as we step back to Golarian for more adventures of my own in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. We're in the market square right now, making our way around, seeing what's going on, defeating demons, doing what we may. Sticky, why not go backwards? Into your little hiding space. There you go. I think the Chihuahua's feeling a little curious right now. He's right there. Right, here we are. Nothing to do in here yet, I don't think.
This way.
Ah, is there? Hear me, take here the hordes of the Abyss march on Canabres. The ward zone is their target. They must not be allowed to capture it, or the consequences will be disastrous. Indeed.
Wherever my legs carry me. No secrets can escape my pride.
Something here. Some booze.
Forwards? No, backwards. Backwards!
Who's this? Thank the gods I found someone who isn't fleeing in panic. Are you crusaders? Mercenaries? The comely half-elf is so frightened he can barely get the words out. I'm a servant of Count Darren Kale Nevis Surrende. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside, and the house guards are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape through a servant's passage to look for help. Will you help me? The mansion is only 2 stone throws away, on the next street over. Count Arandai, I've seen him a few times before. From afar, he looked highly audacious. I confess that he did capture my attention. Moistly audacious, shall we say that? But that's neither here nor there. We should help him. The gratitude of a rich and influential man can only benefit us. You've heard about the Arandai family before. This wealthy and noble Mendevian dynasty was almost wiped out by demons more than 10 years ago. The last surviving member of the family, the young Count Darren, has an infamous reputation. He is well known for being a rake and a rogue. His fortune continues the doghouse, Arandai, I see. Servant cringes. You're telling me. Everyone tried to talk me out of taking up the position, saying that it can't just have been bad luck that brought tragedy down on the family and almost killed off the line. But I reasoned that since my master was the only one to survive that calamity, that meant he must be blessed by fate. And the powers of good, indeed. Let's pretend that's not stupid. The pay was nothing to sniff at either. The servant cast his eyes around the street. I should have listened to people smarter than me and gone to work somewhere else, preferably far away from Canabres. Tell me about what happened. Tell you what I can. I was working from dusk till dawn and back till dusk again, serving guests at the Count's banquet. When the other servants came to relieve me at my post, I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I woke up and there were demons inside the mansion. I couldn't even reach the Count. The monsters had blocked the way. The Count's banquet was still going on. He and his guests were in the great hall, and as far as I could tell, the door to the room was sealed and demons couldn't get in. I'm begging you, hurry. The mansion's doors are sturdily built, and the demons will have to work hard to get past them. So you still have time to rescue the people inside. Alright, I'll help you. It's not far. You're better off entering from the next street over. Alright. I assume that's on the main map of Canabres rather than in this market square.
I spy. What
After all,
I spy?
large though this map seems to be, this is just a market square.
I see blood.
There we are.
Blood.
I would appear be a little whatever. There's a dretch coming in. Let's see about sleeping the cleric. They saved. Lan.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Oops, Sela, I meant to use you and I didn't. Well, Jeff, though.
Me all right?
Another dretch coming in. Camellia, can you sleep that dretch? Yes.
Burn! Slice!
You're done.
Behead!
Ember.
Am I doing it wrong?
Well, we try and sleep the cultist.
Surrender.
Down.
or else.
Lan, if you can.
Won't survive.
Nice. Sela.
Into the fray!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You're down. Camellia.
May I see your entrails, please?
Not if you miss, Yorkie. Come on.
Endure this.
Oh, Sela. All right.
Distract them for me.
You're down.
All I see is blackness.
I'm not surprised you're kind of injured. You're down.
Let the attack commence.
Evil Eye. Reduce AC. Lan.
Make every strike count.
Oh! Yorkie, you are being a fool.
Time to share your treasures.
He's down.
Die! Die! Die!
They saved on that one, unfortunately.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Cover me, all right?
He's down. Camellia. Won't you do an AC on them? I'm under the influence of fear, it seems. Alright.
Too late for apologies.
You won't survive me.
You're done.
No
Go for the other cleric.
without risk!
And that's that. A few spells. And that's that.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
What's this? The demon invasion transformed all of Canabris into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. I need to just do a quick something here. Something I forgot. There we are. Looks like we don't have anyone watching right this second, but I hadn't got chat open if there was. So if anyone came in and is checking on the VOD, I apologise for that. This place saw Clash of Titans, the Demon Lord Discari leading his horde from the Abyss, and the Dragon Terendelev, the mightiest of the city's defenders, and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins, from the chimneys torn down by powerful wings in a sharp dive to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins. It is Sir Yorkie, and he is not alone. The shadow of the strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place. Like a gaze untethered from any observer, this mysterious force, unknown to mortal kind, silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Sir Yorkie is vested in this with his power, and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole, an unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and freckles marring its splendour. What past do I see? In the past exists the one who wielded the scales in life, although the one and life are in opposite terms for eons. The supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. Eon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the world wound. The chasm disrupted the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Discarded back to the abyss. With one swing of his side, the demon lord cut the Aeon down. What present does he see? Ruins, blood, corpses. We've got a stone knife. None of this perturbs the Aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals, the demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it. For the Aeon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Aeon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade. But the Aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. So Yorkie picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. What future do I see? Good and evil, chaos and order, everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse, and it's no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls from life into death and back again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the Aeons withdraw, who eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Aeon is killed, even inappropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them. Used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Aeon within themselves. Will the hero take this power so that he may again look at the world through another's eyes, or will he allow it to vanish? Let's feel this power within us. The spirit of the Aeon dwells out of sight, deep in Sir Yorkie's soul, like a pair of magical spectacles, stowed away until the moment when the hero once again needs to look out at the world through another's eyes. Alright. So we have a special knife. Do we? Is it even here? What by name? Oh, a cat. Who doesn't have a pet? You don't. What do you help with? Perception and law nature, you can go there. Hang on. Purple stone knife, I'm holding it. Enhancement +1, finesse wielding. I can't mix it. Alright, that's fine. That is indeed fine.
I will help where I can.
You can get your kitty cat out.
What's on your mind?
Always
I
be ready for
wonder.
the worst.
Right. I would say we are moving on.
This way.
What's going on here? My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it. Such foresight is laudable. But do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance fighting demons or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? The face of the golden-curled Asimir is beautiful even by the standards of his kind, in whose veins run the blood of angels. His melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. Don't you dare call me brother, heretic. The signs of recent hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. His armour is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony, and his voice accustomed to barking orders is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect the city? Especially now when followers of your temple were caught committing treason. To my mind, you're no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe, and good from evil. That's what happened when my adept, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city, and yet again I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time with pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble of our city. People whom we could have saved, if you had only set your soldiers to the task, and not kept them here, surrounded by a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it's on your say-so, then that must mean there is someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our post before they slink out and try again. The old man notices your approach. And you! I remember you. Yes, I rather remember you too, you silly old fool. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Terendlev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once or I'll have you strung up by your ankles. You can try, friend. Don't even think that demons would have wounded me. I have enough strength still to take on 100 of your sort. And what's this hideous creature? Well, you need a slap. Lan at your service. The mongrel ducks his head in a bow. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I lived in Canabres my whole life. You haven't ever seen me before? It must be because you don't ever venture into the underground district. We have been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. Hello, Julie. Welcome. Now you, good lady, I know to befriend. I am Sir Yorkie of the Shire, leading you through Canabres in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. I hope you are well today. It must be because you don't ever venture into our underground district. You need to control. Yes. The First Crusade, so you're a mongrel. You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. Alright, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If you cause any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. Who are you to be asking me such questions? I find it passing strange that you don't already know who I am. Olrun Shepuk, prelate of Canabres. Yes. I've heard what a lunatic you are. Inquisitor by the grace of Eomade, defender of the city by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, against threats from within and without. Yes, it's a pleasure to see you directly in a stream of mine. I can no longer guarantee a steadiness of timing or length of time that I can stream for. Life isn't allowing that, but I am trying to stream when I can. against threats from within and without. And as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting the city. The golden-curled Asamar flashed a flinty smile at Ramian of Edme prior to the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Holron here believes it's vital to guard the hole in the ground from which he is certain demons will emerge any moment. I've been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. Ah, Surfies, a long time no see, good lady. Another I know to be friend. Welcome to the Shire. I am Sir Yorkie. At one time, of course, the cranky old English dude. Those times are long gone. Now I stand before you, Sir Yorkie of the Shire. And I miss you too. You two are both ones I remember. I know you, Julie, my dear friend, are part of our wrestling weekly. The WWE 2K22 that we run once a week, which is updated this last weekend if you haven't seen it. And I bow to you, good lady. Good lady Surface Warp. Alright, let's see. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one other that is more important than guarding this hole. I put it off and put it off. And look where it led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. Well, really what, Surf, is? I'm afraid I do not understand exactly what you're saying. Or asking. If Sarkorians had hanged Erilu Vorlesh while they had the chance, there never would have been a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum. Prelates see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that is unworthy of a servant of AMD. Oh, I missed that. You guys, I'm buying a whole ass house. I live in an ass house. Well, I hope the house is really good. And Zach is a real boy. He's a real boy. Never mind the growing nose. Yes, I missed the buying a house thing. Well done, Julie. I trust it's a good place in a good neighbourhood and all that you need. And I hope the offer is accepted. Lest you forget, girl, we may say the same goddess, but you are an inquisitor. You are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I serve Ayomade, and I won't question yours. Well, let's show him the light of heaven. That'll shut him up. Behold, Inquisitor, better gift of an angel who died in the caves beneath Canabres. I am no enemy of yours. The old man frowns and whispers something, a prayer or a spell. With each word, his face relaxes. You are telling the truth. The light in your hand was wrought by the power of heaven. I will keep an open mind with regard to you, stranger, and later, under less fractious circumstances, I would like to ask you about how you came to receive this gift. Half an acre of land, 3 beds, 1 bath. Sounds nice, Julie. It's been a long time since I've seen or read Pinocchio. Zach is a real boy, but yes, I did spot that one. I wrote a sappy letter hoping they'll accept my offer over the other two. Please Doll also has an amazing photo and I plan to build a fire pit. Yes, he's hiding behind me right now. He seems to like to sleep or rest in a space that narrow between my back and the chair back. I don't understand. I guess if he fits, he sits. I'm telling the truth, lightning. Okay, where are we? I would like to ask you about how you came to receive this gift. But that can wait. Now I must deal with this filth once and for all. Don't lay a finger on him, or you'll have to answer to me. The Asamir holds up his hands in a placating gesture. Stop! We are defenders of what remains of Canabres. Can't you think of anything better to do than be at each other's throats in the ruins of the city? Ramian looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Holron. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the wardstone and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit you were wrong, as always. With a wave of his hand, the Asimir vanishes. A list of people I want to visit. Who are you asking, Zach? I indeed do. There's currently 6 of us who have WWE 2K22 characters in the Yorkieverse Wrestling Federation. If you wish to join us, you're more than welcome to. I'll have to find some way to get the Discord address for you, or I can point you to the Yorkieverse wrestling page. He fled, the heretic. He's no doubt expecting me to rush off in pursuit, but that won't work on me. Oldron turns his attention to you. What about you? If you truly have been marked out for a gift from heaven, this is your chance to save the city. Go and bring back the filthy traitor. I'm almost certain that he and his cronies were helping the demons, either knowingly or unknowingly. Their attempt to bewitch the wardstone is clear proof. You got a group. Ah, fair enough. Well, what we do is once a week, universe mode. So of course all the fights are automatic. It's just a matter of having your person in there. There doesn't have to be a lot of communication. It's all for fun. But if you wish to communicate, that's always welcome. But if you wish to stay with your group and not join us, that's fine. If you wish to stay with your group and join us, that's also fine. We should jam together. Perhaps indeed. Alright, so I see you suffered greatly in battle. Nonsense, I had to deal with the blood of a Nabatus. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Nabatus, also known as death demons, have the ability to drain their victim's life force. Judging by Holdron's power, he has lost a significant amount of his energy. The Inquisitor can bluster as much as he wants, but right now he's far from the peak of his abilities. WWE 2K22 is a wrestling game, Surface. I run a universe mode, or rather, Yorkie England does, once a week. Universe mode basically has different wrestlers participating in it. In the Yorkieverse Wrestling Federation, they're all based on ideas from viewers. You can have a male wrestler and a diva. And basically, the AI controls the fights. I set the fights up. I do have a male and female in myself, but there is no bias towards them, believe me. They've lost pretty much all the time. So you sound interested in that, Surface. Bear with me while I take a break from the game here, just to look up the channel for you. This is the Yorkieverse Wrestling Federation channel. Feel free to take a look at it. Oh, you joined the Discord. Well, good for you. There is in the Discord you'll find there's a request section for male wrestler and female wrestler. You can have one male, one female, or one of each if you wish. Just let me know some ideas about them, you know, what they look like, so on. And I'll try to incorporate them as quickly as I can. Alright, back to the game. Why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere, because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into the favour, and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Yes, she's got Polly Darton and Elvish Pepsi under the Showbiz stable. Do you think Dresden was taken by force? No, by trickery. Were it not for me, Canabres would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the Crusade. Back then, Canabres didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Ain't nothing but a Jolene. And I had just joined the crusade. Back then, Canabrys didn't have a garrison, so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. It was no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city. You came from Mendev, or if you'd hauled yourself across the seas. The crusade accepted all and sundry. On this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed towards the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all. So they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Minago is her name, yes, we've met her, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks. And the creature was right too. We let our guard down and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Canabrys has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted Arilu's glory. We drove them all out of the city. Actually, I believe we're abest in most of that, not you, Huldrun. But we haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Baelor Karamzadeh, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Discari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here, the goddess curse him, in order to break through our defences. And what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. Ramian really warned you about the attack? Those crazed Desnans who are always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on woolly dreams of heretics over the cold hard facts of intelligence reports? I'm not sure you have any intelligence, to be honest, Huldrun. You're just a psychotic paranoic. Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls for Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city, and that the Wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomedae forgive me for even repeating the words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated. But instead I simply increased the surveillance on them. Not on the Wardstone then, on the people warning you. Yeah, intelligent. And what next? My people caught them red-handed trying to attack the Wardstone with unknown magic. And not 3 days later, the demons attacked the city. So basically he warned you, you guarded him and not the Wardstone, and the city got attacked. Aren't you an intelligent one, Huldrun? There is an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, Desdens played right into the hands of the Discari hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenceless. Ramian covered for his people the whole time, and helped them escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor? There's nothing dangerous in this hole. You have no reason to guard it. You told me yourself that you received a light-bearing gift from an angel who perished in the caves below our feet. No secret these passages are teeming with dangerous creatures that could kill anyone. And even a warrior of heaven. Demons and demonic offspring. That's a long time ago. You're an idiot, Huldrun. And demonic offspring love roaming about on the ground. That's why we'll be keeping an eye on this hole. If the beasts decide to attack from here, we'll be ready for them. Where can I find Ramian? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He turned invisible. He's probably hunkered down in a hole, like a traitorous rat he is. And he'll be sitting trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of here. With a prelate after you, that seems like the only sensible thing to do. It's what I'd do. Sure, lots of things seem sensible to you. Well, our band does seem to enjoy a fight, doesn't it? And it works too. As you can see, I'm still alive. I'm going. Go then. Emma peers intently at Huldrun. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in this city, you met us. What is it? Gibberish. As if I had nothing better to do than arrange meetings with vagrants. But it's true, you and the other knights tied us up at stakes and started lighting bonfires. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames. then he died too. Don't you remember? All run. Burning innocents. If you were burned, then it was with good reason. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire. That is a crime in itself, which means that you have been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case and see that your sentence is finally fulfilled. You're an idiot, Holron. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now, all wrinkled and grey. He was young with a big moustache. Ember smiles broadly and draws a large, bushy moustache in the air with her finger. He probably forgot all about me. It was a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. The knight is a true hero. He just really, really wanted to protect his city, only he got all mixed up about who was good and who was evil. All run. You sent an innocent child to be burned at the stake. Don't you want to ask forgiveness? Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. Apparently you can't. You look like an idiot. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about the crow that flies following her? I advise you to take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours and ask me if she looks innocent. Looks highly suspicious indeed. You forgive him after what he did to you? He thought he was doing what was right. How do you know? Maybe you've done something thinking it was a good thing, but you were really doing a bad thing that hurt someone. But what if I've done the same thing? You can't get angry at people for making mistakes when you might be no better than them. I don't think you've tried to burn someone at a stake, have you? Ember, stop talking nonsense. Ember immediately puts her hand over her mouth. I do like this girl, but honestly, she needs a slap. There's lots of people here who need slaps.
They will break against our resolve.
Oh, that's not a problem.
I'll cut you wide open.
I'm done with you. I must rest to fight another day.
And that's a few of those done.
My legs carry me.
Save the last one for me.
And we have more fighting guards now. That's them done. The Eagle Watch will not abandon its post. Fair enough. What's that book? I'm not going to read it, but I will look in. If it has anything, it doesn't.
Forwards! No, backwards. Backwards!
Alright, nothing really there. I guess next we're going up here.
We are the light.
And we have more rats.
Demands the blood.
Ugly bloody rats.
Oh, is all of this blood mine? Never thought I had that much.
This will leave a bruise.
Continue fighting.
Well, she's down.
Excruciating. Continue fighting, everyone. Continue fighting, everyone.
Why would I continue fighting everyone? Lots of them are friends.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Nothing there. And we've defeated them. We are looking rather injured, of course. That's worth paying attention to. Let's see. We don't have any healing.
I heed the
Do
voice
you?
of the spirits.
No.
Are we in
Lan.
trouble yet?
We can do a little healing. Not a lot.
This way.
Who are you, stranger? You're one of those maskless strangers that Nino's after. Yes. Who are you lot? Watch it, watch it. What are you goons doing? You bloody crushed me. A young tiefling is lies trapped beneath the section of tunnel. Another 2 tieflings scramble around, trying in vain to free him from the rubble. Quit whining. Hey, alarm, someone's coming. Maybe he'll help us. Wise up, would you, before you get us killed? Let's make a run for it while we still can. No, come on, don't leave me. I'll die here. Hey, guys. I see it in a bit of a jam. Get a load of this lot, and no escort either. Woljif, you little shit. How are you not dead yet? And who's that with you? They're friends of mine, great guys. Woljif turns to you and out the corner of his mouth says, listen to me, do a solid. Help them drag this sorry carcass free. Alright, little wall. I'll help you out. You easily clear the rubble and free the trapped tiefling. I'm alive. And all in one piece, give or take. Thank you, I'll remember our kindness for the rest of my life. The freed tiefling turns to his companions. And you 2 clowns, I don't want to hear a word out of you. Get into the tunnel now. 1 trip, just into the Grey Garrison and back. Don't be a coward, it's not going to collapse. Go, or else we came all this way for nothing. That ended well, didn't it? Yeah, well. Wished. Not now, talk later. Tiefling eyes you and elbows his chatty companion in the ribs, causing him to double over in pain. Everything's alright now? I know you're thieves, just like Woljif. Then go, and try not to get trapped under any more rubble. Hey, wait, we probably should come clean now. Since you did save one of us, well, we're what they call tieflings. I've figured that out. We kind of skirt around the edge of the law. That's how we make our living. Say some tyrant bans books that show stuff he don't like. Or fancy Keonan wine he don't drink. Is it wrong that we step in to fill the gap in the market? It depends how you fill it, really, doesn't it? If there's a demand for it, someone's got to sell it. Don't go thinking we're gangsters or anything. Our only concern is making the lives of citizens easier. For a little coin. People in the city can't even breathe without breaking some stupid regulation or restriction. Take this tunnel that collapsed on top of our friend, for instance. It leads straight to the Grey Garrison. Thanks to it, any soldier whose throat's feeling a little dry, or who needs some nighttime reading material, is that what we're calling it now? We can get all the things for him that his heartless superior refused to. We're providing a public service. I helped you, now you can help me. Commander Tirabay and Commander Tirabay to save Canabres. The militia needs people with various skills, even ones as unusual as yours. Are you what? Are you blind or something? The tiefling points at his horns and his tail. Know what people call us? Irilu spawn. Yeah, do you see I've got the same things? And that's one of the nicer nicknames. Crusaders and tieflings don't mix. We'll be torched on sight. Whoa, Tirabay? Did a best Tirabay from the Eagle Watch? Lads, we have to help her. She's one of the only big shots in town that actually treats us with any decency. Why should we risk our necks for Crusaders? Because Irabes risked her neck for ours. She saved me from that creep Hulron. Yanked me straight out of his torture chamber. Only a worthless Torag would refuse to help her out after that. Nah. I'm not listening to any more of this. The tiefling makes a show of covering his ears. You do what you want. I'm heading for the River Kingdoms. Go on then. I'm going with the Crusaders. I'm going to round up the others to help. The tiefling smirks. We've made some good money in the city. It'd be a shame to surrender our meal ticket to the demons. But enough yammering. So long. Tieflings have joined the Crusaders. Good.
Can we return
Okay, we've got this guy.
Stop us.
We've got 3 of these guys. Okay, let's take this a bit more seriously.
The light take you.
Step back. And try to sleep one of them. Nope. That's 8 damage.
Sit here.
And they're down. Not good. Right. You're asleep.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Lan.
Endure this!
That's good.
Can't you just die already?
Try to sleep
You
this
are
one.
today's
Whoa!
sacrifice.
Not what I had in mind, but never mind. The Yorkie.
Burn! Slice! Behead! Yes, behead.
Ember. That didn't work.
Distract them from me.
Oh no, he did. He's down. My mistake.
Make
Plan.
every strike count.
That's another down. Camellia, step away, please. Try to sleep him. He's down again.
May I see your entrails, please?
Close.
Surrender or else.
Time to share your treasures.
With that one, I think we can just take them down.
Go for their hearts.
There we are.
Can we rest now?
Nice.
No.
Wherever my legs carry me.
Despite all the city's trouble, the statue of Day towers proudly over the street. We're getting to where we're going to need a rest. But first of all, oh, there's something up here. Let's go get that. There's also loot by that building.
Forwards? No, backwards. Backwards!
Ramian, we found you. The golden curled Asamir greets you with a graceful bow. So you found me. I have nowhere else to run. I'm at your mercy. Kill me if you wish. But I ask you to hear me out first. Did you really know about the demon attack before it happened? I did. We have a secret ally in the enemy's ranks. No one knows who this brave soul is, but she has been feeding us information on the demon's plans. These dispatches have come to us by the most reliable channel bestowed upon us by the great dreamer herself. They've come to us in dreams. Ah yes, I always find my dreams come true. Prelate Trollrun brushed them off as meaningless reveries. And, well, I admit that it isn't always easy to distinguish our allies' messages from ordinary dreams. But even ordinary dreams are get from Desna, and are always worthy of attention. The Prelate, and all the Crusader leaders for that matter, should have put less store in reason and more in intuition, inspiration and spontaneity. What's more, not long before the attack on the city, a blind elf who calls himself the Storyteller arrived in Canabres. This wanderer wasn't merely a collector of legends. We've met him. We actually rescued him. But a scholar of the unknown. According to him, the wardstone in our city, the first and most important, so in the chain of wardstones, weakened since long ago, was teetering on the brink of corruption. It seems that the Red Morning Massacre and the other demon attacks, even the ones we fended off, did not leave us unscathed. Unfortunately, the prelate did not wish to listen to the storyteller either. We're lucky he wasn't burned at the stake as a heretic. We had such vital information on our hands, information that could have saved the city. No one cared to listen all the way to the catastrophic end. Not all dreams have benign origins. What if the dreams were sent by demons? In a different time and place, someone perhaps could have become the victim of a false dream sent by monsters, but here, in war with the Abyss, the goddess is keeping a close eye on her more faithful followers. I have no doubt that if a demon tried to intrude upon the dreams of any one of us, Desna's punishment would have been swift. Tell me about the strange rituals that were going to be performed on the wardstone. Remian looked slightly abashed. When my attempts to open Holden's eyes ended in failure, a few of my young adepts resolved to take matters into their own hands. They did not consult me before doing so, but I have never demanded iron discipline from my priests. Army commanders may have subordinates, but I have pupils and fellow worshippers. I can only inspire them, I cannot command them, and it seems they were inspired all on their own. In other words, says Lan, you get to preach whatever you want and you don't take any responsibility for your flock. You really got it made. For pity's sake, how can I be held responsible for the action of others? These are not children we are discussing here. They are grown adults endowed with their own free will, Praise the goddess. Of course, we all help one another, but in the final reckoning, each of us decides how we will act. And each of us must answer for those choices. And this is rather true. They had no ill intent. They only wished to access the wardstone in secret and try to cleanse it. But to Holrun, this became perform a secret ritual after hearing even more suspect voices in their dreams. The children wanted to save their city, but the Inquisitors detained them and almost killed them. I had to intervene, used my authority and my power as a cleric to give them a chance to flee. If they hadn't got away, they were destined for a cell in the Prelate's dungeons. And quite literally death. Quite likely death. Why are you and Holrun feuding? Oh, I'm not feuding with him. I sincerely wish only the best for the man. In an ideal world, he'd be far away from the front lines, enjoying a peaceful retirement. But even if that isn't possible, I have always tried to help him fulfill the mission he has taken upon himself, and to which he has proved fatally ill-suited. Protecting Canabres against the demons. Unfortunately, he's convinced that the followers of Desna are heretics and saboteurs. He refused to listen to me, and it was only the knightly orders that deterred him from including us in his witch hunts. Now there is clearly no one left standing in his way, he is free to get rid of us once and for all. Is there any chance you can resolve your conflict? I don't know. Holrun's faith is truly formidable. Not only his faith in Amadei, but in his own infallibility. In other words, he's as hard-headed as a rock troll, but even so, Desna teaches us never to lose hope. Talk to him. Try to explain that we're fighting on the same side. If he attacks you, disarm him, bind his hands, but I beg you, if it's all possible, please don't kill him. Why haven't you left this place for somewhere safer? Because people might need help, and they will come to the temple in search of a priest. I will not hide away in a hole, saving my own neck while Canabres is full of people suffering in the wake of demons' attack. I have to go. Wait. 3 of my adepts are hiding somewhere in the ruins of the city. The ones the Inquisitor wrongly accused of treason. I beg you, find them and protect them against the demons and vigilantes like Holrun. They will not rest until they find them. If there's anything else you can do to save Canabres, please do it. That's what we are doing. Stranger, wait! You spared Ramian despite what the Mad Inquisitor told you. The young voice comes from nowhere. Oh, hang on, I forgot to remove the spell. I hope Holrun's dogs aren't lurking nearby. A pale youth materializes before you. His face looks haggard from lack of sleep. He's clearly pleased to be speaking to someone. So you're one of the Desna adepts that tried to break into the wardstone? Yes, I'm Ilkes, a cleric of Desna. I'm one of the people who answered the call of the voice in dreams. Some unknown person made contact with us through our dreams, telling us about the demons' plans. We learned that the demons were planning to attack Canabres and do something terrible to our wardstone, which already carries a taint of corruption. Prelate Holrun refused to heed our warnings. We had to make a choice. We could either throw up our hands and pull back, or take action, even though it could cost us our lives. But what heartless person could stand by in the face of such a deadly threat? What were you planning to do? The young man hesitates. Our plan was to get to it and then follow our instincts. That's not a plan. There were 3 of us, a cleric, a mage, and a bard. Between us, we know a lot. We're capable of a great deal. If we had enough time, I'm sure we could have figured out what's going wrong with the wardstone and how to heal it. But they didn't give us time. Yes, the local commanders got roped into dealing with this. Some idiot kids trying to break into the wardstone, apparently some of ours. But who even knows these days, sealess eyes? I know there's no evil in you, I can sense things like that. But what you did was so stupid and impulsive, someone could have got hurt. I know from experience. So you lot, said Lan, clapping, decided that you need to do something right away, so you did something right away. Great work. Lan gives a sarcastic round of applause. Like the city authorities would have done a better job. They weren't going to do a thing. Even though it sounds like they knew knew about the danger. All they knew was that some crazies had some weird dreams. But anyway, it's a little late to be trying to pin blame on people. How did you even come up with such a plan? How could we not come up with that plan? You sense the young man's temporizing. Listen, Desna is the goddess of luck. But luck as many lay people would understand it, and luck as we, the followers of music of the spheres, see it, are far from the same thing. Other people believe that luck is something good that falls into your lap just because, like a generous but unearned reward. But we see luck as a fundamental law of creation, according to which even in the darkest hour of the most hopeless situation, a chance of rescue and change for the better can arise. But you've got to seize this chance when it presents itself, or better yet, create your own. Followers of Desna are not people who like idleness and inaction. That's why Canabres was in trouble. We did as our goddess had taught us. We took the matter into our own hands and tried in a moment of desperation to pluck our chance from the hands of fate itself. You were trying to help. Can they punish you if you're only trying to help? Is that allowed? Sometimes it's even necessary. Lan, you worry me sometimes. How could a zealot like Holrun become a respected defender of Canabres? His faith is strong. Incredibly so. The people of the city have seen him fighting on the front lines time after time. I myself remember feeling dumbstruck the first time I saw that gruff old man slaying demons in a fit of righteous fury. The people living in the edge of the abyss need protecting more than anything else, and that's why they are prepared to forgive their protector almost anything. Even prejudice, paranoia, and the death of innocents. You performed a chaotic action. Also, Holrun hasn't been as brutal as he used to be a long time ago. He has his loyal right-hand man, Leotor, known as Hawkblade. He's a witch hunter too, but a good deal more rational and even-tempered. Holrun trusts him completely, and Leotor always conducts a thorough investigation before dragging a victim to the fire. It's our bad luck that Leotor left Canabres in pursuit of some particularly vicious hags 2 weeks before the attack. If he were here, he wouldn't have let Holrun attack Ramian. On the other hand, if he were here, we wouldn't have escaped after trying to get to the Wardstone. We'd all be in a cell right now. Whose voice have you been hearing? Nobody knows what it is, but everyone who's heard her I should say, is convinced that she is good and pure soul chosen by Desna. We had a choice. We could trust her, accept that we have an ally somewhere who isn't afraid of all the armies of the Abyss, or we could drown in suspicions and get one step closer to becoming just like Holrun. We decided to trust her voice, and seeing Canabres devastated, which is what our unknown ally tried to prevent until the very end, I can see now who had the truth on their side. Well, I suppose you may have a point. Where are your fellow worshippers, and how many of them are there? Fortunately, or unfortunately, I don't know where they are. We split up to confuse the Inquisitors. You need help? Desna teaches us to trust in last-ditch chances. Listen, my friends are called Aranka and Thal. Thal the Wallflower. Aranka is an amazing singer and truly beautiful girl. She has plenty of friends and fans. She's probably blended into a crowd somewhere. Wallflower is a mage, but I don't think he'll risk using magic. It will only bring the Inquisitors down on him. He'll be harder to find. You better find Aranka first. She might know where Wallflower is. Please, find them, and protect them against the demons and the Inquisitors. I will wait news of the Goddess's Temple. I hope our mysterious helper will send us a message that will reveal what is to come from the demons. Alright, I have to go. If she's a singer, and there's a party going on, paid for by a rich guy, it sounds likely that she might be there. Let's go find it. Magical half-plate, that is. Leave the rest of this here. Only one of his sealer might use half-plate. Half-plate +1. Sealer, what are you using? You got a 7 off of that. Got a 9 off of that, and 0 max dexterity, and you have 0. You would have +1, but you'd be losing. Wearing that, you've got 7. Wearing that, you've got 9. 7 + 1 is 8, so you'd still be better off with that. Around a party house. Let's try there. I think we should rest up before we go in there. We don't have a scroll scriber's kit. He can scribe scrolls, though. So we can go in there ready for when we do. Alchemy. Sealer. You can do some cooking. Hearty meal. Right, Night Watch. Lan. And Waljif. Oh, he's in Scroll Scribe, isn't he? I mean, we don't really need him in Scroll Scribe right now. That's where he will be. Protective Rituals. Definitely you. Camouflage. Definitely me by a noticeable margin. And you're +5. Yeah, that seems about right. Begin resting.
I remember my father once scolded me for bringing my puppy to the table and letting it eat from its own plate.
What does a poor mongrel have to do to get luxuries like separate plates? I've been eating off yours for a month.
All good. Sometimes a long-awaited rest does not bring the desired relief. What comes is a heavy clinging sleep on the edge of wakefulness when consciousness seems poised between reality and oblivion. The possible reasons for such disturbed slumber are myriad. Strained nerves, perhaps, or a lingering reaction to trauma. Sir Yorkie emerges from the oblivion of his leaden sleep like a drowned man, dragging himself up from the depths of a swamp. The wound on his chest is burning like someone pressed an invisible brand to it. The wound has closed again, but the bloodstain on his shirt betrays its presence beneath. There's no time to investigate the cause behind his malaise. A trying day lies ahead, but how will Sir Yorkie be up to the challenge? If his thoughts are so muddled. Splash some more cold water on. As if a veteran adventurer could be frightened by a bad dream. A splash of cold water enlivens his senses and weariness abates, retreating to the depths of his subconscious, but leaving the path open to return the next time Sir Yorkie seeks refuge in sleep. Sir Yorkie recalls that he's slept peacefully in the defender's heart. Close. Guess the priest might be useful to talk to there. We did not heal properly. That's a shame. Well, we've got a bunch of things here.
Let's shred them.
And we have a couple of dredge.
Let the attack commence.
Cover me, all right?
That's one down.
Into the fray!
I'll cut you wide open. Too late for apologies.
You crossed the wrong
That
mark.
was nice and easy. Up here. Well, Lan,
Meditate
before
on
we
your
go any
mistakes.
further,
Might make you feel better.
just do what healing you can. I know it's not a lot.
Yes?
Why don't you stick some healing on us?
Yes. Esme. Axe. Yes.
Now, who isn't wearing armor? I am, you are, you are. Lan isn't, you aren't, and you aren't. Right.
Esme. Axe. Yes. Esme. Axe. Yes. Esme. Axe. Yes.
Nice.
Ask nicely.
You can trust me.
Let's make Sealer big. Right, into the party. Definitely seems to be some reveries. What a splendid occasion, Count, and this new Numerian elixir is quite something. Well, he table dancing naked? Well, at least in very little. Cover your eyes, children. I smell beauty. They're demons! Help! Well, that was a nice one. Alright, get ready for battle, I suppose. Warjiff. Well, the courtesans, etc., are running for crazy, exhausted and afraid.
You won't survive me.
Ember, can you put him to sleep? Will that work? Nope. Camellia, how about you putting him to sleep? No, indeed. Well, at least the poison's over that side.
Thank you for amusing me.
So Yorkie. Let's come down here. Sealer. Oh, we found a ranker. I was right, she is at the party. Where else would the glorious singer be? Now he's down, good.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Courtesan. Drunk noble. Lan, on the dretch. That's good. Ember. On that dretch. Yes. Camellia. On the other demon. He succeeded.
Die, die, die!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Let them run frayed. More jiff.
Distract them from me.
Nice. Very nice. The noble.
Make every strike count.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I'll hit you!
Actually, what you can do... Turn down the SC. It's only one turn, but it's still there. All drifts down. That's all right. You're down. The wizard is up. And down again. I think if he's all that's left, we can afford to turn it off and just let things take their course. Even the nobles are trying to fight him. Oh, there is the Dretch over here, of course. Not that he's lasting long. I thought I saw something here.
This was simple enough.
Portrait of Golarian Mendev, ruler of the kingdom and founder of all crusades. Okay. Maranka, a word. Thank you, stranger. The young woman does not look at the least bit scared. Her cheeks are flushed and her blue eyes are glittering. Saving us from demons and for your timely entrance. I swear I don't know who has enraged me more to their demons or the oh so affable master of the house. I'm a friend of Ilka's. He asked me to find you and protect you. The young woman clasped her hands together. Ilka's is alive? And he's made a brilliant new friend. It's a shame that it had to happen now when the city's under siege by demons, and those pig-headed inquisitors are pursuing us instead of doing something useful. I kind of agree. How did you end up here? Uldrun's hounds found me in Wallflower and they tried to capture us. I distracted them, then I lost them in the streets before charming my way into this party. Even if the inquisitors saw where I went, they wouldn't have been able to get past the door. Uldrun holds no sway among certain members of the aristocracy, so I picked up a good place to life for now. That is until the demon showed up. She shivers and wraps her arms around herself. Now that's more like it. So I've inadvertently been harbouring a traitor wanted by the Canabra's Inquisition. This day isn't such a waste after all. Do you know where the third of your group is? Wallflower, no idea. If he knows about the demon attack, he won't just hide away. He'll go out and try to help people. If he doesn't know, well, you have no chance of finding him. He's a pretty skilled mage, but I doubt he'll risk using magic. He'll probably do something the Inquisitors won't expect. Pose as someone. Disguise himself. We had a great selection of masquerade costumes in a temple. He becomes lost in thought for a moment. I know. I'll tie my shawl round your arm. Wallflower gave it to me. He'll spot it right away and know that you're a friend. If I were you, I'd look for him in Canabra's Market Square. So it's a trip back there. Tell me about yourself. I'm Maranka, travelling bard and follower of Desna. Many of my fellow bards are rootless misfits who wander the world unwilling or unable to have a normal life. For me, that's only partly true. Which, the rootless, the misfit, or the inability to have a normal life? I have a wonderful family, my mother, father, grandmother and brother. Right now they are far away and I'm sure they miss me, but they have always supported me in my vocation. And they let me be free to roam, because they know that I couldn't be happy while there's so much of the world I hadn't explored, so many places where people might need my help. Evilish Ash. I interrupt your quest to inform you that the squire, Noah, borrowed your white Destria to travel to the tavern and acquire some refreshments. Ah, he is a noble squire, and I thank you for notifying me, dear lady. Anyone seeing that, let me just tell you that Evilish Ash happens to be my dear wife. The squire Noah. My nephew, and he's popped to the shop to get us some drinks and so on. He's a good lad. A bard, that's great. I love singing. Will you sing me a song? Maranka smiles. Sorry, I don't think this is a good time to sing along. Sweeping epic, but I will gladly sing for you some other time. What can you tell me about the master of the house? About the count? Her voice drops to a whisper. I've wanted to smash a jug over his head for about 5 times today already. He just brings that feeling out in people. It's one of his many talents. Other than that, well, you've probably already heard about the Arendei family. All I can say is that the Count's servants flee this place like rats from a sinking ship. No one ever stays here long, even though he pays them extravagantly. I even heard one servant complain that he always feels uneasy in the Count's home, like someone is watching over him. Unseen one staring at the back of his head, even if his back is to the wall, even if he turns around. I don't know if I believe all these tales, but I'm telling you what I've heard. Yeah, that's the word on the street too, the tiefling hunches his shoulders. The mansion, it's the tastiest morsel in the whole city, but all the thieves are afraid to even set foot on the street. Are you deliberately talking as if I'm not here? Excellent! Like any polite host, I shall return the favour and act as if you're not here either. Why did you break into the wardstone and cast magic on it? It put your lives at risk. Your information could have been a trap set by demons. It wasn't a demon trap, Aranka says forcefully. Then her voice softens and her expression turns pensive. You know, living next to the World Wound and seeing the powerlessness of the Crusades, it's very hard. We've been trying to defeat the demons for 100 years now. We have nothing to show for it. I think that Queen Galfrey, on the other hand, and the other leaders, think that we can defeat evil if we line up our soldiers in perfect columns and send them marching off with a stirring battle cry. We just need a few more soldiers, a little bit more discipline. We've been marching for hundreds of years, and it's always one step forward, 2 steps back. And while the soldiers are marching, people like Huldrun are seizing power behind their backs. His fanaticism and cruelty were forged in the same furnace as the Crusaders' righteousness. We will never defeat the demons if we keep trying to march down this same path. We need to change tack. To challenge our principles, trust our hearts and our friends, and not mouldering doctrines. We need to listen to any entity that is willing to help us. My friends and I listened, and we trusted, and we tried to change something. At least we tried, even though it didn't work out. Well, it could be said that those marching as they've always done are also trying, even if it's not working out. Great idea, marching in straight lines won't work, so let's go attack the demons in a merry band of hopers and dreamers, bringing with enthusiasm and doing just whatever we like. When the demons see us coming, they'll die of hysterics and our victory will be complete. Lan, you're a sarcastic little bugger, aren't you? What's your suggestion? Naive children, that's what you are. But I admit your words stir something in my soul. I wouldn't put you in charge of a military campaign, but I'd be proud to fight alongside you. Can you get somewhere safer on your own? Looks like the Inquisitors aren't busting the door down just yet, and they're not hiding under the bed. So I think I'm safe for now. I'll be fine on my own. I'll go to our temple, to Ilka's. The Inquisitors must have searched there by now. They won't be back a second time. I have to go. Good luck, may Desna be with you. Alright, I suppose we should talk to Darren.
Greetings, valiant stranger who has just burst into my life. I am the master of this house. Count Darren Kale, myriad mellifluous monikers Arende. No need to introduce yourself. I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
Have you spoken with Nino? She also thinks names are pointless.
Wow. Bona fide blue bloods and unparalleled aristocracy. All this makes me itch to do something really crass. Ooh, like blow my nose on the curtains.
What are you waiting for, my squamous squire? The curtains in this room are velvet, but we have some excellent silk ones with gold thread elsewhere in the house. Take your pick. My soft furnishings are yours to do with as you wish. I'm quite sick of the place, truly. I shall either sell it, or burn it to the ground and build a new mansion in its place. Now that we've finished with the niceties, tell me this. How did all those thrice-damned demons end up at my soiree?
You haven't heard? Canabris lies in ruins. This guy killed Tarendlev, the wardstone has been captured, and you're asking me why demons can't crash your party?
Canabris in ruins. Descari. Well, well, well. And I was already lamenting the lack of excitement at my little banquet. Although it must have been tolerable enough if we didn't get notice of a great hulking demon attacking a dragon just outside the window. It seems as though Descari's occasion was altogether more of a crush than mine, if you will pardon the pun.
I will just about pardon it. What should I know about you, Count, apart from the fact that you're highborn and very rich?
As a child, I had my very own pony, but I always dreamed of having a lamb. I was never allowed one. Sheep were seen as peasant animals, utterly unsuitable for the scion of a noble line. The trauma haunts me to this day. I think of it every time I have roast lamb for dinner.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Such a sad story.
I had not even the slightest intention of upsetting such a lovely child.
I'm not lovely. Some people have even called me a scarecrow before.
That's patently absurd. Why, you can't possibly be a scarecrow with a crow following you
Good
around.
point.
I'm sorry if I failed to sate your curiosity. I loathe talking about myself to people I don't know, even more to those I do know. The only thing worth knowing, aside from the fact that I am highborn and filthy rich, is that I dislike Puritans and demons in equal measure. Well, perhaps demons a tad more.
You don't seem very concerned with the city's fate.
I have no friends here whose untimely demise I would care to mourn. The only alarming thing is how easily all this happened. I don't care for the thought that demons could come calling at my door at any moment. And just think, everyone had so much faith in the wardstones gifted by Iomede's herald, and in the might of our tamed dragon, as if there had been no Dresden or a dozen other routes where the demons overcame every defense.
The Count falls silent and rubs his brow, looking fatigued.
The Orendes are one of the most ancient and noble families in Mendiv. They are related by blood to Queen Galfrey herself. The Count is the last remaining member of his dynasty. The rest all perished around 10 years ago. In the tragedy at the family seat, Heaven's Edge, the demons got past the defenses and massacred everyone inside.
I thank you for providing your friend with that helpful summary, my lady. I believe I've seen you before, with that hilarious buffoon Horgus Gwyrm. I sincerely hope you are not engaged in any kind of sordid
Well, I very much doubt it.
with him. The thought of something so splendid in proximity to something so grotesque makes me feel quite ill. You deserve a better fate than that, no doubt.
Your civility knows no bounds, Count. I most assuredly do not have any arrangement with Master Gwyrm.
As Camellia speaks, hints of carefully suppressed irritation slip into her voice. You can go to the Defender's Heart. It's on the protection of Beth Terebade and the Eagle Watch.
I thank you for the invitation, but I am not quite as desperate as I may seem. At times, it is better to be surrounded by the repugnant mugs of demons than the sour and dour physiognomies of Iomede's righteous paladins.
What about my physiognomy? Sour enough for his lordship? Don't worry, another few minutes with the dazzling Count here, and it'll sour like week-old milk.
What's this? An attractive paladin with a sense of humor? You're a veritable walking scandal. Either way, my mansion is now safe. I have a pair of half-decent guards. I just need to drag them out of the storeroom and bring them to their senses. I ordered them to drink a love potion, you see? For reasons which seemed extremely witty at the time and in the state of inebriation I then found myself in. They can guard the house while the valorous paladins beat back the demon assault. They will beat them back, yes?
We are doing, yes.
As regards myself, I feel like stretching my legs. I know rudimentary divine spells, I am no friend to demons, and I elevate any society that I deign to grace with my presence. I shall accompany you, only for a short time, of course. I have no desire to remain at the vanguard for a protracted period. What say you, my ephemeral but highly diverting acquaintance? After all, Lord Descari spoiled my party. I now burn with the desire to spoil his.
Indeed. Thoughts?
I don't like this guy much at all. Not even because of his personality, but just... I sense something dark about him.
That can be fun.
I guess thumping him one next time he comes out with more aristocratic witterings is not allowed. All the more reason to take him with us. If we don't kill him, the demons surely will.
He has all these friends at his party, and he still looks so lonely. We can take him with us. Maybe it will make him feel better?
Don't ask me. Having him tag along would be like going for a nighttime stroll through the back alleys with a diamond tiara on your head. Even I don't like that kind of attention.
The Count's presence can only benefit us. I think we should say yes.
He doesn't look like a whiner, and he can hold his own, so he won't be dead weight.
Well, Count, you may join us on the crusade, but I have my little party here right now.
Capital. Good acquaintances that begin and end at just the right moment often leave the most pleasant memories. Wouldn't you say?
Well, you can leave and be a pleasant memory. How's that? Right, time to leave here and head back to the market square.
This is my kind of work.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Off we go. Go see if we can find the third member of the group. Hello indeed, I am Sir Yorkie of the Shire. The Chihuahua is on the floor at the moment. BS. I hope I'm not spelling too much BS.
This way.
Who's that? Doesn't look like a crusader. The eyes of a young lad peer out from under the massive helmet. At this proximity, it's obvious that his armour is ill-fitting and mismatched. The helmet specifically is either very poorly made or a theatre prop. Pardon me, I saw you with that shawl. Does this mean that you're a friend of Ranker's? What am I saying? Of course it does. So you must be Wallflower. And what do we have happening now? Hello? Ah, taking your time to get here. It's Hull Run. The young man's speech is interrupted by the arrival of a new cast of characters. People in the robes of Iomede's Inquisitors appear from all sides, surrounding him. Adepts, though, of the Temple of Desna, you are under arrest on suspicion of treason and aiding and abetting the demons. You have 1 minute to come quietly. Drag your feet, and we'll count them as an attempt to resist justice. Prelate Hull Run appears behind his people. And here's the traitor almost corrupted the wardstone with his magic. You didn't think that the disorder and demonic presence in the city would distract us from pursuing traitors, did you? Youth's eyes go wide. You are torturing this poor boy for nothing. I can't stand for this. The Inquisitor's brow furrows. You bear the gift of heaven and you're taking a side with delinquent? Show the sword, it seems to convince him. The young squire returned is setting up food aside. Well, thank you. And thank you, Squire Noah out there. The Inquisitor gazes at the light, not even blinking. His face reveals a desperate inner struggle. At last, he rubs his temples. I do not know why you're standing in the way of justice, but I do not wish to start a spat between the goddess's righteous warriors in this hour of peril. Let this Desnan riffraff go wherever he likes, just as long as it's out of my sight. When we liberate this city from the demons, I will see to it that every one of Ramian's runts and everyone like him will be driven out of Canabres. Come, faithful, they have no further business here. The young man lets out a sigh of relief as he watches the Inquisitors go. This is just blatantly unfair. We have tried to protect the city from demons, and instead of helping us, we get hunted by the Inquisitors. Prelate Hull Run will be the death of us. There's nothing we can do about it. Anyway, thank you. I'd have been done for without you. Inquisition has gone too far. I'm glad I didn't let them take you. That's it. I don't believe I'll get a fair hearing from Hull Run. If it wasn't for you, I would have been tortured and put to death. But even so, I have my regrets. I think we went too far trying to break into the wardstone, and we didn't even save anyone. Chin up, pal. Now you're screwed royally, no doubt. But you meant well, didn't you? Hull Run was trying to do the same thing as you, but he killed a whole bunch of people while doing it. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to the Temple of Desna. I want to be alone with the goddess and reflect on all that happened. Alright. So we need to go see them in the temple. First off, though, Let's have a quick word with him, see if we can sort out the argument. I talked to Ramian, he's not your enemy, only wants what's good for Canapres. The Inquisitor gives you a black look. I would consider these words an admission of treason from anyone else, but I don't wish to draw my weapon against he who has been given heaven's gift. I won't, as long as you don't do anything worse than conniving with the rabble-rouser Ramian. I won't ask you again to kill the rabble-rouser, but as soon as we liberate the city from the demons, my faithful will hunt him down. I have to go. Can I not tell him... Prelate, your forces are needed elsewhere. Erebeth Terabade, warden of the city, is gathering troops in the Defender's Heart. What now? Who? Terabade, that upstart, warden of the city? I suppose I have already been written off for dead. This isn't sedition, this is outright insurrection. I'm loath to abandon my watch, but I can't turn a blind eye to such a blatant usurpation of power. We have no hope in defeating the enemy if there is disorder within our own ranks. I'm going over there right now. I need to see what this Erebeth is up to. Alright, so we've got more joining us. Right. My next stop is up at the temple. And that, once we've dealt with that, will be our final stop. Let's go see what's happening there. And there they are. There's a book there. And a chest there. Fanfare of the Faithful. I wonder if that's going to help us if we look at it. Nope. Alright. Ilkans and Rankans all sit side by side like sparrows on a tree branch. They seem happy, despite the chaos going around them. If it isn't our rescuer, it's good that you've come. Sit with us. At least you're all fine, but there's still much work to be done in the city. That's true, but can we give you a gift before you go? We wouldn't want this. Wouldn't give this to just anyone, apart from the person who bravely defends us from injustice. These injustice inflicted by people who should be the pillars of law and order. Our gift, Aranka cuts in, is a song. We call it Starward Gaze, and it came to us from the true servants of Desna, from her domain in Elysium. This song can gift the soul with renewed vitality. Just listen, she sings the melody. Do I get a gift? Can I swap my song for something else? Say cash or even a snack of some kind? Those unschooled in the arts can't possibly appreciate that some songs are worth more than gold. And those who have spent their lives eating 3 square meals a day and sleeping on silk sheets don't realise that sometimes a crust of bread is worth more than gold. Paying no attention to Waldry's chatter, the young woman continues to sing. Let's join in the song. You repeat the melody, feeling it coming from somewhere within your heart, and then... When the music stops, the Yorkie finds himself in a place that looks nothing like the ruins of Canabres. It all happens in the space of a blink. He closes his eyes on one world and reopens them on another one entirely. A delicate twilight envelops the new world, with streaks of moonlight breaking through the gloom. The Yorkie is standing in a shallow stream of murmuring water, deep in a forest. There is no one else around. Garlands of unfamiliar clinging plants twine around the trunks of the gigantic trees, and dangle from their vines woven into what look remarkably like swings. A carpet of fragrant grasses spreads across out at the tree's roots, with islands of phosphorescent moss and lichen dotted here and there. Small, smooth stones with a strange mirrored surface are scattered across the stream bed, in which Sir Yorkie is standing. The stones catch the light shining down from above the heavens, making them gleam silver and making the ordinary little brook look like a stream of darkness, carrying a sprinkling of stars through the night. Sir Yorkie is sure that he has never been to this place before, and yet it all seems so familiar. It is the manifestation not of dreams or fantasies, but of that special way of looking at the world that only children possess. When a glint, I'm reminded of a poem I heard many years ago, that a child has 100 voices, 100 ways of seeing the world, and one by one we crush them from him or her, until they're left with just one. When a glint of light reflected off a piece of glass becomes a fallen star, when an oddly shaped stone can be a remarkable artifact, and when every shadow or twist in a path promises mystery or an incredible adventure, a single glance into the forest stream brings this feeling rushing back. Well, let's dwell on our way, shall we? The whimsically twisting stream runs through the silent forest, and Sir Yorkie unhurriedly strolls along it. The place evokes a strange feeling of not calm, no, in fact quite the opposite. A feeling of restlessness and anticipation, of incredible discoveries and unexpected encounters. Or then again, perhaps it's not the place at all, but the eternal hunger and craving for new experiences which dwells in many mortal hearts. Speculation aside, just as Sir Yorkie rounds the next bend, an unexpected encounter does indeed take place. They come closer, not attempting to hide, stepping lightly on the mossy carpet. Leaping from branch to branch or flitting through the air, the creatures are thoroughly bizarre, as though they were deliberately conceived to try the sanity of every taxonomist on the planet. One has the fluttering wings of a butterfly on its back, another has the tails of a dozen different animals, while a third boasts tresses of streaming water, hooves instead of feet, and springy clover growing all over its skin. "We have a visitor," exclaims one of the strange creatures, and immediately it runs along the stream, sending up moonlight-silvered splashes with every step. "Where am I?" "Don't you know where you are?" asks the creature in amazement. "There are plains of breathtaking beauty and plains of astonishing wonders, but only Elysium is woven from the craving for beauty, from the belief in wonders. That is where you are. In the most peaceful, most wonderful corner of the plain of boundless freedom. Who are you?" We are Azatas, the children of freedom," says one of the creatures, carelessly swinging from the branch of a tree. "This forest is our home, for today. Tomorrow our home could be a lake 100 leagues to the south, or an underground cave in the azure ocean, or a castle of clouds that scatters in the dawn breeze. How did I get here?" "We don't know how you came to be here," says the creature with a dozen tails, smiling. "Mortals rarely come to Elysium during their lifetime, but here you are, which means that something must have brought you. Something in your soul. If your soul did not harbour the slightest spark of freedom, yearning, and compassion, you never would have found your way here. Now that you know the answers, tell us, what do you want?" "I have to go back, they need me there." The creature with the butterfly wings, who has hitherto remained silent, gives the visitor a serious look and nods to itself. "I smell the burning blood and tears of the place you have come from. It clings to you. It is right that you don't wish to turn your back on the suffering of those you left behind. None of us children of Elysium would do such a thing. Go back, be a bulwark against evil and strife. Your path is true. But would you like to take something from this place as a memento?" The question hangs in the air. And though the words that Sir Yorkie utters next are merely words, not a spell or a military command, they seem to have equal bearing on destiny and life. "Yes, I'd love to." The Azatas draw closer. "Take this memory with you. Take this light. Take the knowledge that any pebble struck by moonlight can be equal to any star. Take the understanding that you cannot fight evil with clever plans until you have conquered evil within your soul, and your soul cannot be cleansed of evil if it's not free. Take our song. Remember it, and it may help you, but only when you are true to that which brought you beneath this sky." All three adepts look at you wide-eyed. What just happened? For a second you were surrounded by light, and we heard music, like the music of Elysium itself. I had a vision. I was in Elysium and the Azatas spoke to me. The adepts exchanged looks of astonishment. "I swear it's a sign that Desna herself has turned her gaze on you. You helped us and protected Wallflower from the Inquisitors, even though it wasn't your responsibility. The goddess couldn't fail to acknowledge such a noble soul. We might be getting ahead of ourselves here. There are many other powerful entities in Elysium besides Desna, but, of course, there must be a reason for it. I'm so glad we met you, friend, and not just because I'd be being tortured by the Inquisitors right now if we hadn't, but also because you helped me overcome my doubts. We will always remember you, no matter what." Alright, so we finished that. We have one removed disease. It seems like a couple of us could actually use that. Yes, indeed. And that's disease removed. Well, my friends, I am Yorkie of the Shire, and I thank you, all of you, for attending this journey with me. Very well. And may your day be blessed, your night equally so. I shall see you next time I am able to stream, as we return to Golarian for more of my journey in Pathfinder.